This is the girl behind the keyboard, and welcome to my 100 Days of HOMELAB. What is the 100 Days of HOMELAB? It's a challenge put out by a fellow YouTuber named TechnoTim, encouraging people to learn new skills through homelabbing. Homelabbing itself, if you're not aware, is the idea that you own your own cloud through virtual machines, decommissioned server hardware, and old computers, just to name a few. You're by no means locked into that infrastructure, however. It's more of what you enjoy working on. You want to build out your server suite with Raspberry Pis? Be my guest. Want to buy a server with 60 plus 3.5-inch hard drive slots? Go right ahead. What matters is that you have fun trying it out. All of my adventures throughout my 100 days of homelabbing will be documented as thoroughly as possible on my GitHub repo, as well as videos on this channel, Girl Behind the Keyboard. You may feel free to follow along with this to your liking or use it as inspiration for what you do with your home labs. If you want to do a follow along with my adventure, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe and give me some suggestions in the comments for what you think I should do. Throughout my 100 days of home labbing, you'll see me doing voiceovers of what I do, live labbing, and my thought process doing a task. I plan on uploading about 15 to 20 minute long videos daily throughout this challenge, but it's not impossible. For the especially mundane ones that I do, I consolidate those into one video. So what you're seeing me doing right now is I'm actually working on my my README for this for my planning. So my README for every single day is going to contain what I did, the commands that I ran, and why I did what I did. I need to... So I'm... With adding the pound sign, I'm specifying that this is going to be the title. And this is what GitHub refers to most of the time for your title. So go ahead and titling it as Monica's 100 Days of HOMELAB, writing out that it's part of TechnoTim's 100 Days of HOMELAB. And of course, I've got to credit TechnoTim throughout for this idea, because even though it's my goal to learn this stuff on my own, I'm giving TechnoTim the credit for this challenge almost. So the first thing that I absolutely needed to work on was better managing my subnets, as I currently have about 1 billion different IP ranges, and they are all knotted together, and it's a headache to manage. I also have a project that I'm actually currently working on, but still not exactly finished with a MAC address identification tool, so I can better identify devices on the network. And I also need to work on my workflow of videos through scripting out, rendering, managing converting them to H.265, uploading them automatically. I'm also working on Active Directory and network booting, so that way I can have an easier time managing users and operating system installations, as I do switch from computer to computer fairly often. It's nice being able to not have to worry about password management for that. Also, backups, as I don't really have the best backup scheme for my desktop that I primarily use, my laptop, and my servers. I'm also working on automatic syncing of files from devices, between devices, so that way I don't have to lose productivity figuring out where things were. This may be done with tools such as SyncThing. It may also be done through like network storage. And there's, quite frankly, no correct way to do it. Since I also do some programming, I want to better improve my development workflow. Also VPNing in, so that way I can remotely access from, let's say, coffee shops or from school campus and I don't need to port forward about a ton of ports. It honestly leads for security concerns to have that many ports open. Not to mention, it becomes more difficult to have multiple like SSH servers. Caching and network-wide ad blocking is so I can actually... It's more of me to learn DNS stuff. Caching things like Windows updates and Steam games. Network-wide ad blocking, such as with Pi-hole. I'm also going to go ahead and try to figure out how to host game servers such as Minecraft and TF2. Learning Docker because, quite frankly, I know how to install and deploy images, but I don't know how to create my own image. Trying to group them together, I'm also going to manage my IP, try to work on managing my IPs better. Yeah, you can kind of see my ADHD tendencies. Such as static IPs for only specific devices and dynamic for those that, quite frankly, don't need it. Again, such as my laptop or my desktop. Also, Git. I suck with Git as it is right now. So being able to actually learn how to use Git is going to be extremely beneficial, as most of the time I commit stuff through the actual GitHub website, and I'd like to be able to actually do that through the command line and not have to worry about uploading files and managing folder structures and things like that. Furthermore, after doing a little bit of research during this planning phase, I learned that the project that I might be using also would do game consoles, such as my Xbox and my Nintendo Switch, and not just caching downloads, but also my file shares on my NAS. Being able to cache that so that way I get snappier responses makes things a lot easier to use. In planning out my backups, what I'm going to do for my physical machines are going to be different from my virtual machines. With my virtual machines, I'm probably going to do Proxmox snapshots since my hypervisor is Proxmox. I might also look into rsnapshots for my physical machines, but I know with how I work, I'm just going to focus in on rsnapshots, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Also, I don't have any offsite backups. That is a huge no-no. So I'm just going to go ahead and make note of that. Actually, I want to have broader access than just VPN. So I would also like to have remote VNC, remote desktop, and secure shell, regardless of what's... So that way I don't need to worry about having certificates or files. And also, the consequence of that is, well, my security, my network security. One last thing that I want to work on as well is working with Windows Remote apps, and especially how to access those apps from other computers without having to install them. So things like live splits would be really handy to have access remotely for. Or be able... I don't want to have to download that a million times, especially with having to manage splits. So if I can... So it would be nice to be able to have that all on one server and it just gets remotely accessed. Thank you to TechnoTim for the inspiration for me to start the series, and thank you for watching. Consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're looking forward to this, and I'll see you in the next episode.